My name is Werner Puchert, and this is a fresh cup of coffee. Bottoms up. Oh, it's a bit hot. So I hope you have had an extraordinary week. Mine was really interesting. Had its ups and downs. Started off with a few technology disasters at the beginning. Then one or two small successes, and then quite tense and pretty tense and stressful still at this time. But as we end the week, but not bad stress, just things that needs to get done from a professional perspective, and all it needs is a little bit of elbow grease and time. And I'm grateful to have the little bit of stress, because I could have been recording TikTok videos. Maybe I should do that. It might be easier. Then again, some talented people out there doing crazy things. But then this also brings me to a note of reflection, because I particularly also enjoyed this week's notes that I could share, because many of them came from people that I've met here in Poland. And initially, when I started out to create this little project of mine, it was really to capture what I love so much about Poland. And yes, it drives me nuts sometimes to be in Poland. It's got its ups and downs and complexities, but I enjoy being in this country. And I love everything about it. Even if I peer out the window now and I can look outside over our balcony, I can see how spring is beginning to really kick into overdrive and everything is blooming. And also the fact that we've now had rain come through and really seeing the plants come alive. And this is definitely the time that I enjoy most in Poland. Because later on, when summer kicks in, it's going to get really hot here. And sometimes it can be quite unbearable, especially here in Warsaw. But I'm not complaining. It's all good stuff. And hopefully we can enjoy a little bit of that. So what happened this week? I'm not going to talk about the business stuff. That's all good. Ups and downs. That is besides the point. But from a personal perspective, and also working on finding frequency, it was really great to connect and just have conversations with interesting people from Boston to the Silicon Valley and then straight through to Canada. I really spent some time in the Americas this week, it seems. And then in the show, I had a lot of my dear Polish friends jump in. I was really surprised with what Sylvester sent me. If you haven't listened to his episode, please do. I met him in a coffee shop, and this is one thing about a South African, and I don't think Polish folks always understand us, is that we like to talk shit. I can't describe it in any other way. Small talk, just talking nonsense. And that's one thing I miss from South Africa, is that you can walk into any place, shop, convenience store, whatever, and you can purchase and bugger off if you want to, but you can linger a minute and just talk nonsense. And more than often, people will entertain that and you will get nonsense back. But it's also an excellent way to connect. And I find it difficult sometimes to do in Poland. People seem to be much more serious, especially when they're in their working environment. But Sylvester was a completely different kettle of fish. What's the term? We kicked it off immediately and he makes a great cup of coffee. But also when we started talking a little bit more, I discovered all his adventures and what makes him an interesting human being. Then also the person I published yesterday, Kasia Gawlik, it's a female senior researcher, director. She's currently doing a PhD, someone I highly respect, and someone who I think is sometimes a little bit undervalued. This is someone who needs to be leading, and she is leading teams, but very, very huge family person, and really loves her 2 daughters, but then extremely clever. I can't tell you how many times when we were still working together, I enjoyed working with her because of her deep knowledge around the subject matter that she's kind of got involved with. And yeah, so singing their praises. But then the other praises I want to sing too, and I want to bring this to an end so I can get back to my keyboard, is I don't really look at the stats of this podcast at all. And last night I thought, I wonder what that looks like. What, is anybody listening? Because ultimately I'm also creating this as a little bit of a time machine for my son, the 366, so he can listen at least one day when he's older. That's the idea, that he'll be listening to this interesting time capsule of him and his family, because we never know what's going to happen in the next couple of months or years. But then also I wanted to make it public so that people can have access to it if they happen to find it. And lo and behold, people are finding it. Now, I've had many conversations with people who listen to the show on and off. I mean, of course, I don't expect people to listen to every show. We have got things to do. But if you are one of those who have not reached out to say hi, or just to say, hey, I'm listening and I could do something different, or maybe share how you feel about things, because sometimes I do these prompts and dear friends do respond to it, and I appreciate it. It's awesome to have a little bit of kickback and to know that someone's listening. It helps me because it's just cool. So if you're listening to this and we don't know each other or we haven't spoken, send me an email. My details is werner.puchert@gmail.com. If you Google it, you'll find it too. You can also find me on LinkedIn, or even if you do the tweets, you can find me on Twitter. So if we haven't connected, please reach out, because I've had such rich interactions this week with people that I did not know so well before this crazy pandemic, and who have now become dear friends. And if you're listening to this, I consider you to be friend, perhaps family. So I'll leave it there and sip away my coffee. I encourage you to do the same. Thanks for listening. Oh, before I forget, I got another little clip that I want to share, just a little bonus. One of the guys I featured on the podcast a little bit earlier, Ruud Janssen from Switzerland, the Dutch guy who lives in Switzerland, sent me a clip of him and some of his colleagues practicing the Alp horn. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen an Alp horn. It's one of these long horns. It's really, you need to go and look it up. It's a very traditional instrument, and it's a very Switzerland kind of thing. Do they call them Swiss? I don't know. Anyway, let me shut up and have a listen to this.
Okay.